You believed that the connection between Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones was solely about hip-hop and love. Hold on tight, because the internet is going crazy about this most recent drama. Witnesses claim that Jim Jones was just caught up in a startling public brawl with Baby and Chrissy Lampkin. Let's just say that Jim's reputation is in shambles due to the strange details. It started off as a seemingly simple debate, but things took a sinister turn. Jim reportedly lost all control, and the consequences are harsher than you might have thought. Social media is in full meltdown mode. Chrissy was left scared, and the crowd was in disbelief, asking for clarification. Did Jim Jones truly overreact this time? What triggered his exploding temper? Above all, who was the enigmatic individual at the heart of this drama? Insiders are disclosing information that might ruin Jim's career. Celebrities are speaking out, and fans are inconsolable. This scandal is just getting started, so grab some popcorn. Okay, everyone? Fasten your seatbelts, because if you thought Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin's relationship was messy before, you haven't seen anything yet. Even hip-hop and love producers are probably scrambling to come up with a way to cover this current issue because it is so outrageous. It all started at a private gathering last Saturday night, which is why they're messy. Given that Jim and Chrissy Lampkin's relationship has been troubled for years, fans were taken aback. Jim has been embroiled in financial difficulties, cheating, rumors, and some dubious business operations. One moment they are engaged, and the next they are enjoying a vacation. Chrissy has supported him through it all, but this time, oh honey, she might have had enough. Witnesses said that as things started to go wrong, Jim and Chrissy were sitting in the VIP area of a fancy club in New York City. Jim seems to have had a little too much to drink, which he wasn't particularly out of character, but it struck him in a new way this time. One person at the club claimed that Jim was pacing back and forth and appearing anxious throughout the entire night. He refused to listen to Chrissy's repeated attempts to soothe him. Witnesses said that Jim received a text message that triggered him, and when Chrissy leaned over to inquire about the matter, things became heated. Chrissy tried to keep her cool because she didn't want to make a commotion, but Jim yelled and grabbed his phone away from her. They could see that people were turning toward the VIP section as they noticed that his voice was growing louder and louder. Things truly went out of control at that point. One witness claimed that Jim stood up and shoved Chrissy in the face while grabbing her arm. Chrissy pushed him away and yelled, "Don't do it, Jim!" But he did it. The whole bar reportedly froze as Jim grabbed Chrissy's arm and attempted to drag her out of the booth. But she ripped it away and said, "Let go of me and y'all." A mystery man who was adjacent to the couple then moved in to separate them. Longtime friend of Jim's, but his intervention almost seemed to be an attempt to protect Chrissy at Jim's expense. According to a witness, Chrissy was trembling when security had to step in, and the man remarked, "Calm down, Jim, you're doing too much." Jim pushed him back and yelled, "Stay out of it." She was obviously holding back tears because her face was flushed. Jim shoved the unknown man one last time and shouted, "You don't know what the F* you're talking about." Chrissy, according to one source, sat down and buried her head in her hands before security pulled him out of the club. Sat there without saying anything. This is when things become even messier. People with knowledge of the matter claim that Jim's phone was exploding with messages from an unidentified woman, whom Chrissy had assumed Jim had been seeing for months, which was the reason he was so furious. Indeed, there have been long-running allegations of Jim's infidelity, but Chrissy has consistently defended him, even when it was said that he was out in Miami with an unidentified woman. But this time, she witnessed the proof herself. According to a source close to Chrissy, Jim lost his temper when she saw the messages on his phone. He knew he was caught and reacted angrily rather than taking ownership of it. And believe me when I say that social media promoted this quickly. Video of the brawl was already going viral online when Jim and Chrissy exited the club. Jim Jones is out with Chrissy in the club. This man is done. The nasty comments said that Chrissy should leave him now because he is embarrassing her again. The entire incident was captured by someone in the club and posted to TikTok. The fact that Jim Chrissy hasn't discussed the incident at all is the most ridiculous thing. Chrissy's tales are empty and Jim's Instagram is mute. But you know that silence is more powerful than words. Chrissy has been around the mystery man who protected her for a long time. And let's just say that some are starting to question whether she has moved on. Oh honey, he might not just be a buddy. As per a person close to the couple, Chrissy has been depending on Jim for emotional support during their months-long relationship. Jim knows this, and the fact that he publicly reacted in such a way to Chrissy indicates that she fears the end of their relationship. From what I've heard, Chrissy isn't going to back down this time. So the real question now is, what will happen next? At last, the breaking point is approaching, and Jimmo, he's in damage management mode. According to rumors, he has already reached out to some of his contacts in the sector in an attempt to conceal the truth. But the AG footage is now public knowledge. There is no turning back from this one. And believe me when I say that the fallout from this controversy will rock the hip-hop and love worlds, because Jim might lose everything if Chrissy goes for good, and the reports about this unknown man are true. But believe me, if you thought part 1 was chaotic, the explosives are only getting started. We underestimated the severity of the outburst. Fans are picking sides, and judging by Chrissy's recent actions, Jim might have just messed up. The woman and the bag. Where did we end up then? Oh, remember, Chrissy was left sitting there terrified, humiliated, and ashamed while Jim was being hauled out of the club by security after trying to yank her out of the booth in front of a large group of people. But let's talk about what happened next, since that's where the drama really starts. Jim's rage wasn't only Chrissy's reaction. According to sources close to the couple, I mean close, an extremely trustworthy insider claimed that Jim had been texting an unidentified woman for months. We're talking about personal chats, flirtatious messages, and outright emotional infidelity here, not simply a casual side chick scenario. According to a source, Jim consistently disputed Chrissy's long-standing concerns regarding the mysterious woman. But Chrissy heard the messages personally when they showed up on his phone, and they were terrible. We were texting late at night, with phrases like, "to miss you," "when are you coming to see me?" and "don't have to know, excuse me?" Furthermore, according to insiders, this mystery woman isn't just any female. She's supposedly related to someone else in the industries. This will turn into a major industry scandal, but here's the thing. Chrissy had no intention of speaking out about it. She may have been attempting to manage the matter in private, but Jim's response was what really set things off. An individual close to Chrissy claims that she was first composed, but that she understood Jim was guilty when he began to yell and act strangely. And you know what? Fact, Jim has been implicated in cheating rumors before, so you may remember. Chrissy went live in 2019 after Jim was seen in Miami with that Instagram model, effectively asking everyone to shut up. The internet went crazy when the video was posted on social media, and she isn't playing that game. As the video was released, harsh comments were making the rounds on Twitter with hashtags like #ProtectChrissy and #JimJonesExposed. This time, Chrissy needs to leave him for good. How do you treat the woman who held you down like this? Chrissy, better take him for everything he's worth. The celebrities, however, started to weigh in. Man, some of you really don't deserve the women you got, SMH. Tamar Braxton remarked that Chrissy is better than me because I would have handled the matter very differently. Kardioff pepped Twitter and shared the message. Remy Ma, who usually stays away from this kind of turmoil, liked a tweet that claimed Chrissy deserved more and that Jim had been acting odd for years. Not only that, but fans immediately started examining Jim's social media activities, and let's just say that he hasn't been behaving faithfully. Guess who it was that showed up in a screenshot of Jim liking and commenting on images of a particular woman? These messages were purportedly sent by a lady. They also found that Jim flirted with her in a recent direct message exchange, calling her lovely and using heart eye emojis, as though he wasn't already engaged. You don't know the LF of it, eat. Tell Stelm, what exactly don't we know, Jim? The real bombshell came when the mystery man who broke up the fight spoke up. You remember how we talked about that guy who stepped in between Jim and Chrissy? Well, apparently he knows a lot more than he's saying. According to sources, the mystery man has been close to Chrissy for years. And he's been witnessing Jim's treatment of her behind the scenes. According to reports, the mystery man told Chrissy, "You don't deserve this. You deserve better," after the incident. And the way she looked at him afterwards suggested that something was going on. The mystery man has been warning Chrissy for years that Jim isn't the right man for her, but she wasn't ready to hear it. According to one person familiar with the situation, Chrissy isn't the type to jump from one relationship to another. But there is definitely a connection between her and this guy, and Jim isn't happy about it. That's my woman and the mystery. Man said, take it, like it, you fool. With Jim this time, based on what I'm hearing, Chrissy is finally starting to pay attention to people around her. And the fact that this mystery man stepped in when Jim was acting out might have been the wake-up call she needed. Jim is spiraling, and he's been seen drinking in New York, looking disheveled and depressed. He's been calling Chrissy nonstop, but she doesn't answer. And the most absurd thing is that she's already been speaking to her lawyer. If what I'm hearing is correct, Jim could lose both Chrissy and his money. The fact that Chrissy hasn't said anything on social media, and that silence speaks louder than any statement she could make. Along with the fact that she is already talking to her lawyer, means that things are not looking good for Jim, and that the fallout from is going to get even messier, because if Chrissy files for legal action and the mystery woman comes forward, Jim's career and reputation may be permanently destroyed. Trust me, you're not prepared for what's coming next, because Part 3, baby, is about to go nuclear. The consequences of Jim Jones's outburst are worse than anyone could have predicted. And his reputation, career, and even relationship are all at stake. Chrissy may have finally pushed her too far, but if you thought Part 2 was crazy, wait until you hear what happened next. So, where did we leave off? Oh, right. Jim was in a downward spiral after being exposed for those dubious texts and that public altercation with Chrissy at the club. The mystery man had already stepped in to protect Chrissy and Jim, but he did not take it well. That's because, trust me, it's messier than you think. After that club incident, Jim apparently didn't just go away quietly. Rumor has it that he went straight to a nearby hotel and that he wasn't alone. A reliable insider revealed the truth. And let's just say that they weren't exactly trying to hide it. Excuse me, but sources claim that Jim left the club with a woman who appeared suspiciously similar to the person he had been texting. I'm not saying it was the mystery woman, but the receipts add up. By the next morning, photos of Jim leaving the hotel with this unidentified woman were all over social media. TMZ, the Shade Room unlocked. Everyone had the story. One fan posted the picture with the caption, "Jim couldn't wait 24 hours before embarrassing Chrissy again." And the comments said, "Oh honey, they were honey-aag.Jim has Jim trash." Chrissy hadn't even left the club yet and he was already moving on when someone caught him on camera. Chris is garbage. She needs to break up with him permanently because Shessie deserves more than to continue attempting to hide it. Will you cheat and then have the gall to do it? What? On Instagram, the unidentified woman went live. She seemed utterly indifferent and was sipping a glass of wine. You're telling me that this woman knows Jim was out here disrespecting Chrissy, and she's just laughing about it? She smirked when the comments started coming in, asking if she was the one they left with. You guys should shut up. I'm not the one who made vows. That's his problem. The audacity, honey. Jim just made matters worse by sharing a photo of himself on Instagram with the words, "It is what it is." saw it too, as she posted in a mystery message on her Instagram account a few hours later. Believe them the first time, baby, when they show you who they are. It didn't stop there, though, because a source close to Chrissy claims that after Jim performed this little prank, the unidentified man called Chrissy and assured her that she would no longer have to put up with this. Chrissy went to her lawyer, indicating that she listened. Indeed, Chrissy was spotted outside the office of a well-known divorce attorney in New York City. This isn't just any attorney, though. This is one of the most ruthless ones. One insider claims that Chrissy has been holding Jim down for years and is no longer playing games in the industry. But this time she's finished, and the rumors are becoming unmanageable. According to insiders, Jim might lose everything if Chrissy files for divorce because her name is on some of his most valuable assets, such as the property, businesses, and endorsement deals. According to an insider, Jim understands he made a mistake because he supposedly started blowing up Chrissy's phone after finding out that she had met with her lawyer. Chrissy helped him when he had nothing, and now that he has built something, she is entitled to half of it. According to people close to Chrissy, Jim had been calling her nonstop, leaving voicemails, even knocking on her door. But Chrissy wouldn't open it. The internet, however, is on Chrissy's side, claiming that she deserves better and that this is how he repays her. One source claims that the most bizarre part was when Jim's mother called Chrissy and basically begged her to try to resolve the situation, but Chrissy told her, "I love you, but I can't keep doing this." The subject is also being discussed by celebrities. Nicki Minaj left a comment on a page about it. Did anyone else jump in? On her Instagram story, Remy Ma commented, "Don't play with a woman who held you down from day one. The problem is that Jim is already facing negative consequences for his career, in addition to personal criticism." According to rumors, Jim was negotiating a new reality TV agreement with a big network, but the scandal caused the deal to be shelved. They don't want the blowback, a person close to the network claims. Jim's business is dwindling. Advertisers are already fleeing, and his name is too jumbled. One of Jim's biggest endorsement deals, a sneaker deal worth more than 6 figures, seems to have already been canceled. Are considering ending the deal since they don't want to be a part of this kind of issue. How is Jim going to bounce back from this? Right now, in my opinion, Chrissy is in complete control since she has the receipts, the backing of the public, and the legal edge. Jim might lose not only his relationship but also his job, his money, and his entire image if Chrissy chooses to go to court. Even worse is the fact that Chrissy hasn't spoken yet, and according to a person close to Jim, she's allowing him to hang himself since she knows that everything he says will just make him look worse. Whether Jim will survive this fallout or if this is the beginning of the end for him and Chrissy is the only issue that remains. Believe me, you already know that this narrative is far from over, so I'll be back with all the updates. The question then becomes, after years of supporting, defending, and holding him down, is this truly the end for Jim and Chrissy? Jim was seen looking messy and inebriated at another bar only last night. Can you guess who he was with? The same enigmatic woman? What will happen to Jim because, let's be honest, Jim's reputation and career might not last this one without Chrissy. However, if Chrissy goes and files those legal documents, Jim may lose more than just their relationship because she isn't saying anything. Her silence speaks more than any words she could say. If he tried to ruin himself, he might lose his money, his home, and his reputation. In contrast, the fans are completely behind Chrissy, and you can be sure that everyone will be watching if she chooses to sue Jim. But what if she does? Is there more to the story of the mystery man, or is he just a friend? What is Chrissy going to do next? Will she use her influence to undermine Jim, or will she keep quiet and allow him to fail? If you're on Team Jim or Team Chrissy, in the comments, is Chrissy better off forgiving Jim or turning her back and moving on? I assure you that you will want to be the first to know when the next part of this narrative is out, so please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. This drama is far from over. Starting